The Tragedy of Macbeth, out on Apple TV+, new adaptation of the Shakespeare play, directed by Joel Cohen, one of the Cohen brothers, marking the first time one of them worked without the other on a film. This one is shot in black and white, in a square aspect ratio, and except for a single shot at the very end, it was shot completely on a soundstage, on built sets inside, in interiors, with the intention of making it feel detached from reality, taking place somewhere to the side of it. It stars Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand as Macbeth and Lady Macbeth respectively. The story, I'm sure we all know: medieval Scotland, a noble knight becomes obsessed with power after being given a prophecy by witches, murders the king, takes over the country, but then madness begins to overtake him. So this adaptation is fairly faithful, most notably in that it actually uses the original Shakespeare text. The language is not modernized and the lines are recited straight from the play as written. Of course, some scenes are cut, others are shortened, but what is there is what Shakespeare wrote. Because of a combination of this original text and the way the film was made exclusively on constructed sets, I think it does something very interesting in combining the sensibilities of theater, of stage play, because in some ways it deliberately is very stagey, but it combines those with the sensibilities of film, the way the scenes are edited together, the way light is used, but also perhaps most importantly, because the eye of the camera is a very key tool that you don't have in theater, but Joel Cohen here uses it in presenting the story to us. This combination leads to a really gorgeously looking film. I have to say, some of the shots look straight up like black and white paintings or drawings, and there is indeed something detached from reality about them. The movie forgoes realism and being grounded, using the convention of theater and make-believe to, quite extensively to create this really odd world. In terms of the casting and the performances, using Denzel and McDormand is certainly an interesting choice. First of all, because of the age. Usually Macbeth and his wife are portrayed as younger in the earlier stages of life, but there is so that changes the some aspects of the story a little bit, I thought. But there is also the question of accents. Both of them use their natural American accents. Now, typically Shakespeare productions, especially ones as faithful as this one, use British actors, or at least people who can take on the accent. So when the other characters spoke with perfect British accents and then Denzel goes full American, I was a little bit distracted by it initially. But then I had a thought, what if them two having a different accent is yet another way of showing how detached they are from the rest of the characters, how they stand aside from the ideals of honor and nobility? But then some other side characters showed up also speaking with an American accent, and my theory proved to be false, which makes me think it was maybe a wasted opportunity in the end. But whatever the case though, after a while the accents stopped being distracting, at least for me, and really I think it would be weird to get hung up on this and demand accuracy in accents from a film that is deliberately not realistic and grounded in all the other aspects. And of course Denzel and McDormand both give solid enough performances that help wave those issues away even more. I also want to give a shout out to Catherine Hunter, who plays the weird sisters, the witches. I think she's mesmerizing in that role, and she steals the scene she's in. She's completely captivating, very otherworldly and creepy and bizarre in the way she moves and talks and behaves. Her appearances are the best part of the movie for sure. All in all, I think it's a very well made movie and a good adaptation of the play, although I would point out that it may seem inaccessible to the casual viewer because of the language and the stagey aspects of it. But if you like theater and or you are a fan of the source material specifically, I think there's a lot to love in here. I personally still have a soft spot for the 2015 film titled Macbeth with Michael Fassbender and Marion Cotillard, but it is cool to put the two of them aside, side by side with each other, and see how the two adaptations of the same play, even though they still stay quite close in spirit, can be so different in execution.